I thought it wasn't going to start recording there. It was quiet. Anyway, good morning, Catherine. So today I am talking to Catherine Sanderson, financial planner with her company, Sanderson Clare Financial Solutions, which is a partner of St James's Place. So, Catherine, you used to be a teacher.
I was, yes, which now seems a very long time ago, but it wasn't.
Well, yeah. Was it a childhood dream that you always wanted to be a teacher, or did it grow on you through your education?
I think it grew on me because there was two things I wanted to be. I did want the classic, I wanted to be the air stewardess. However, I always was around the children at the family parties. So when it came to actually making that decision, yeah, it glared at me. I had two choices. This is what I remember. I sat down, I'd done my A-levels or about to do them, and we had a book back in those days that you looked through for what you wanted to do. And I went to 2 pages and it was accountancy. And then the other one was teaching. So it was the teaching route for me. Yeah, simply because I couldn't see myself sat at a desk all day long.
No.
And I wanted to be with the kids.
Right. So how did your teaching career start then? What was your specialism? Primary, secondary, subject?
So I was a primary school teacher. When I actually trained, I actually specialised in maths. So we did maths at degree level, and then we had geography as a secondary, but you did it across the board really. So I started at school and got a baptism of fire because I'd been there 6 weeks and we got an Ofsted inspection. And after that 6-week period, we were the first school in Cheshire to go into special measures. So I really was on a very, very steep learning curve.
Oh my God.
Most I could have ever learned in a short space of time. So yeah, it was a very interesting, but I don't want to say exciting. It was an exciting, and it was a time where we were doing everything for the kids. It was all about the children, you know, so, and it was in quite a mixed catchment. So there's some very deprived children as well. So it was really, really, really rewarding.
And did you stay in that same school your whole teaching career, or did you move?
No, so I spent the first 3 years at that school, and probably was enough because it was quite a demanding school, you know, social services and so on involved. So I then went to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, and I actually went to a Leafy Lane country Cheshire school, but I actually was the nursery manager. So I got employed as the nursery teacher, and that nursery then served the rural area. So it wasn't just the nursery for the school, it actually served 4 or 5 schools in the area. I did 4 years in the nursery and started then to apply for deputy headships. And at that point, the head teacher said, I've got a position in school, why don't you come and share the deputy headship? And we'll have a team of us together, working together, because he had a different plan. He didn't see that one of us should be a leader. He said that we could all lead within our specialist area. So that's what I did. Went into school and did year 1, year 2, and then I had 2 children. I did my national professional qualification for headship. I was like, right, that's it. I'm on the trajectory. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go be a head teacher, and then I have my own children. And I just thought, I'm already putting enough time in. I actually now can't commit to being a head teacher. So I went down the special needs route, and I did the special needs award. So I became special needs coordinator, safeguarding lead, maths lead, and then a student lead, mentor lead. You know what it's like primary school.
Yeah.
You're
only leading 6
jobs.
Yeah. The hilarious. I have a friend who I was at school with, who's a primary school teacher now, and we always used to laugh. I was the linguist. I was always really good at languages. She was hopeless, absolutely rubbish. And now at her school, she is the languages lead. It's hilarious. And their main language is Spanish, which she's been to Spain once in her life, never learned it, and she's the lead. But that's primary, isn't it? It's like, oh, you'll do. We've not given you a bit of responsibility lately. You can have this.
Yeah, that is it. Suddenly swap it round as well, and you're thinking, I know nothing about this, but you know, there's only one way to learn, isn't there?
Yeah,
you get thrown in the
absolutely hands on. Yeah,
which is what happens.
Yeah. So
that's where I stayed.
Yeah, right. So how long was your teaching career altogether then?
So the little bit I'll go on to in a minute, I did do a little bit of supply. So in total, it'll be 22 years. But I actually spent 18 years in the school that I just spoke about. So I was very much part of the furniture by the end of it. Yeah. 18 years in one school. So I left before I was going to see pupils' children. I thought it was going to make
that's that is a weird, that is like a Rubicon that you cross when somebody comes, I think you used to teach my mum.
Yeah, I need to leave now.
Although I have to say, at my school, they did tend to reproduce quite young. So when they were saying that, their mums were still in their 20s. So it wasn't so bad. But I left before they started saying you used to teach my grandma, because that was coming. So what was it that in the end, towards the end of that 18 years, what point did you start thinking, maybe I'm not going to see this through to retirement?
Because life is just too short to do one thing. And there was a turning point when a governor asked me to write a report and to come and present as to why my aspirations weren't so high with the particular class that I had. I can remember that it just sticks with my head. And I remember saying to the governor, who was a director at a very large company, actually saying to him in the end, but they're the aspirations for that class, but they haven't improved on last year. No, and they won't, because I'm not selling a product. I can't sell more of them. These are children that we're talking about. But yeah, I was still expected to write this big long report, when actually what I needed to do was to prepare for my children the next day in order for them to make progress. So I felt that there was always a battle, and that I was being dragged away from the core of what actually mattered, and that was actually children. But I never really thought I'd have an opportunity to leave. So the next turning point was the fact that it was unheard of, but numbers had come down so much, and funding had been cut quite a lot, that we actually needed a teacher to leave. So voluntary redundancy was put forward first and foremost. As you can imagine, I was top of the pay scale. I was SENCO lead. So I was one of the most expensive teachers. So do you know what? I thought, I can go and be a mum. If I take redundancy, I actually can give back to my children and be a mum. And don't get a teaching job somewhere else. I can have a complete break from this, can settle my eldest into high school, which was going to be a huge, huge thing. Because as you know, many of us teachers, we care so much about children and what happens to them, but we don't get to take our own children to school. We don't get to pick our own children up. We miss the Christmas production. We don't see them in an assembly. So I just thought, wow, I've got this opportunity, and actually I can pay myself a wage and then think about what I was going to do. So I actually didn't know what I was going to do. So I took that leap of faith, knowing I had a bit of financial security. And actually I thought, well, I can go and do supply if I need to. And I'll perhaps look and go back into teaching at a later point. And I didn't.
You didn't? No.
I also got very bored. I also realised I was not a stay-at-home mum. Because after being a busy teacher for so many years, and your brain is being utilised every second of that day, whether it's because your emails are piling up, or because the gifted and talented child needs their next challenge, or whether because the autistic child needs some further support, or the child with global delay, or maybe it's the middle child who is very well behaved and is getting on with their work, but you don't want to forget about them. Meanwhile, the social services are on the phone. So to suddenly then go to nothing, to take my children to school, which was brilliant, and then come home and go,
now what?
I realised I couldn't do that. So my turning point was actually the fact that my partner was also studying to be a financial advisor. So what did I do? I picked his books up. I thought, you know, he was an accountant he wanted to be, but actually this one's with people. And I will be talking to people, I will be with people, and I can still educate people. And I'd not realised quite so much at that point. Did a little bit of Googling, and I found the most amazing opportunity, which was with St James's Place's Academy. And they had a huge drive for women, because there isn't enough financial advisors in the country right now. We had 250,000, and it went down to about 23,000 when all of the exams and the regulations came into force, almost overnight. And then when you look, there's not enough women. So they have this huge drive. They want more women with them. And that struck a chord with me.
Yeah.
And then bigger than that, much bigger than that, was the fact that they were going to support you in that training. So that training wasn't going to cost me any money. They were going to put, but there was a very, very difficult interview process and business plan, which I've never done.
Yeah, I imagine that they are quite keen on 100% pass rate if they're investing in people like that. So they're not going to take a punt on somebody who might not make it, are they? Yeah.
No. So I took that leap of faith actually without knowing. I didn't know. I didn't leave teaching and go, this is what I'm going to do next.
Yeah.
But I knew I tell you one thing I looked up like little businesses, where little franchises and so on. And I looked at running some of those and I just thought, no, it's still not quite what I want.
That's the thing, isn't it? Well, for me, because I was desperate to get out, I was looking at anything and everything. And you Google alternative jobs for teachers. What can teachers do? What skills? How can teachers use this and whatever? And then you look at all these little I considered being a driving instructor, but then at the end of the day, if you're leaving something that's been a massive part of your life, I feel that I needed to go to something that I was going to be passionate about, if you like. I mean, I don't like that I'm so passionate about my job, but something that you could really commit wholeheartedly to, not just a bolt hole for the sake of it, something that's going to be meaningful.
Yeah, you've got to have belief in it, that you can make a go of this. But also, I think many teachers, we've made a difference to people's lives for so long.
Yeah.
None of us were in it for the money. We weren't.
No.
And I've realised now, I used to think, and we do go, we were well paid, you and I. Yeah. Teachers are, you don't go without. But I've not realised actually in comparison to the people I'm meeting, the levels, the levels of pay and the security with it. But we weren't in it for the money. We were in it for seeing those little or big people's faces and watching them develop, because that you can't beat that feeling. So I think for me, hence why I've ended up in what I'm doing, because I bring so much of that with me, trying to make a difference to the two people and other people's lives.
Because I do notice when we're at network meetings and you're doing your sort of elevator pitch, that it's not about telling people what to do with their money, it's educating them about their options and the decisions and things that they haven't considered. And it does always come through in how you talk, that you're not just chasing the commission, you want to educate people and empower them to make decisions about their own finance.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know that I knew very little. I knew diddly squat, really, because I didn't have time as a teacher. I did not have time.
You just trust that your teacher's pension's doing all right, and well, you can't do anything about it if it's not, and then the rest.
And you don't think there's anything else that you can really do, and it's absolutely not, However, you're so right. So first and foremost for me, it's about educating people, and that's whoever it is. Even if I'm sat in a meeting with clients, they know that I'm going to inform them. And then they make the decision if they want to do what I have maybe suggested would be the best thing for them. But it's all about them making the decision based on the different elements bespoke to them that I've educated them on, really.
Yeah.
There's so much that I didn't know, and it does. And I think now there are so many teachers out there, I feel, that would. I only realise now how good we are as teachers. All right.
This is such a recurring theme, that when you are a teacher you think, well, I can't leave because I'm crap at this, so what makes me think I'm going to be any good at anything on the outside?
I am just a teacher, that's all I can do. I cannot. But what you don't realize is the communication skills that you've got, because you can communicate with people from all walks of life. And you're able to reason with people, you can educate them, you can match learning styles. So we're not just teaching in one way. Your organizational skills are top notch, because they've got to prioritization. When you have such huge lists, you're brilliant at that. You're fantastic at adapting you know, that knowledge of people and how people work and working with people, presenting. We present every single day, you know, so in different ways to the children. So you can present to different audiences, you know, to motivate people, you can manage people, and the list, I'll go on.
Immense.
I could go on forever.
Yeah.
It is immense. So you can put your hand actually to so many things. And you and I see lots of people in networking meetings, and I just think, gosh, teachers just need to know how brilliant they are. They really do. And if they're continuing to enjoy what they're doing, great, carry on. But you are amazing. And actually, you could run some top-notch businesses because of the skills that you have. So don't have to put yourselves down, teachers.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
So your training.
Well, and my hat goes off to them because I'm so glad. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So I was just going to say, your training with St James's Place, then how long did that take, and how much of your time while you were doing it did you have to commit to it? I mean, a few hours a week, a few hours a day, over a month, 6 months, you know, just give us some context.
So with St James's Place, the route that I took was an intense route. So it was a very short space of time, but it was a very intense time. So it was actually 6 major exams, as well as 18 internal accreditations to do in order to be qualified. But you also went through their training as well. So it was 6 months of, and I'm going to say intensive because it was real, and you have to have 100% commitment. But they get you to a stage that you know that and you're ready. So one of the things I actually did was I actually got ahead of the game, because I've got 2 children. I got 2 exams under my belt before I even started. So I did a little bit of supply before I started. So I was keeping some money coming in and did 2 exams. But from the moment then I started with the academy, it was full on, absolutely full on. But they need that because they're training people to have the drive to run their own business.
Yeah.
So, but we can do that, because that's all we've ever done in our teaching career, is it not? From September till summer, it's full on, and then you collapse into some holidays, don't you? You get poorly, you go on holiday, recharge, and can't go back.
Yeah.
So it was very, very intense, very intense.
So the exams that you sat, are they St James's Place exams, or are they like Financial Conduct Authority, whatever the centralised regulator is?
Yeah, so a bit of both. Okay, so you cannot now advise without exams, and the exams that we did are accredited with the Chartered Insurance Institute, and so the CII, and they are the set exams, and you have to get to diploma standard. Once you've done that, you can apply to the Financial Conduct Authority, that then you become authorised with well, I am authorised with St James's Place. But on top of that, St James's Place have internal examinations that they expect you to do. And the good thing about that is, well, some people might know things, but I do because I'm a teacher, you carry on learning. So right the way through those internal accreditations, you have to retake them. So nobody gets stale, because the world's ever changing and everything develops in that financial world. So we have to continue. Yeah, so it's not, but in answer to your question.
Oh, yeah, you've just frozen.
Qualifications regulated. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, my back.
Yeah, it's telling me that my internet connection is unstable. No, we're all right again now. So if somebody wanted to set themselves up as an independent financial advisor, they would have to do those Chartered Institute of Insurance exams and apply for accreditation. Yes, they do. Yeah, you have to go through all that exams. But to be honest, would I do that and do it on my own? Would I be independent? No. No, I wouldn't. And I wouldn't change now either. I think to be affiliated and be with a practice or a larger financial wealth management company, and it doesn't have to be St James's Place, you know, there are other companies out there, but at the time I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the same opportunity.
but there is, and some people do the studying on their own as well.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's an amazing opportunity. It really is. I feel so blessed.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a second life. I'm still using so much of what I had before. And the lines that I always say, I drink cups of tea hot now, and I don't wipe snot from my legs.
And you can go to the toilet when you want to.
And I can go to the toilet when I want to. And I have the flexibility with my children. So I might be working super hard, as I did as a teacher, but I get to watch my children play football. I get to watch them in a production. I have the choices to say, I'm running my own business, so I'm going to have Friday morning off. I'll probably work Friday night and Saturday morning, but
you've got that flexibility. You can switch your week around. You can have your weekend on Wednesday and Thursday.
And I don't know, well, the other one I was talking about is the Sunday cloud. I always thought that Sunday there's a cloud waiting. And or I don't know, maybe I would procrastinate a little bit, but when PPA time came in, that was great, because I'd get my planning done on a Friday morning. But even so, Sunday you'd be thinking, did you get everything ready? And I need to do that, and I don't do that anymore. I don't have the Sunday cloud.
No.
I'm not saying that I switch off completely, because I don't. It's just not this regular.
It's not a cloud.
And I'm not wishing my life away. I'm not counting to the next holiday.
Yeah, it's a good job, really, isn't it? Because like we were saying before, holidays are a bit rare now.
Oh yeah. What holidays? What are those? I can go away when it's not school holidays, but I can't because I've got children.
Oh yeah, you didn't think that was though.
Mm.
So, do you think you encountered any barriers along the way to getting out? Was there anything that made you stop and think, maybe I can't, maybe I shouldn't, it's not going to work?
Do you know what? I think I was really lucky in that, because I had the rarity of taking redundancy. I think the biggest barrier that I might have thought about was, where's the money coming from? You know, so I had because I'd had redundancy, I had a little bit of security that actually helped me through my journey, because I then fed it in. Other barriers, do you know, I don't know, maybe in my head I might have thought, well, what will people think? She's only a teacher. Initially, not now. Initially, she's only a teacher, so what does she know about finance? How can she advise me? So, but it didn't become a barrier at all. Well, I don't think it has. No. You know, I know what skills that I use. I know that, you know, I continue to educate people, and actually I've now got that expertise. I've got that knowledge, and all I need to do is pass that knowledge onto other people. And if there's things I don't know, then I've got a FTSE 100 company behind me that do know the answers, because these experts there that do know the answers. So, well, that was me. I suppose that was me mentally getting over that. So having an inferiority that you're just a teacher, because you're not just a teacher.
No, that's, I mean, I've banned the word just from my vocabulary lately. Yeah. How many times do we use just in a day? Yeah. I'm sorry, but I was just wondering, or no, stop using the word just. If you were wondering, you're wondering. It's we minimize ourselves, don't we?
I had a client who said, I'm just a mum. I said, no, please drop the word just. You're doing the most important job in the world. And actually what you're doing is enabling your husband to go and run his business as well. So you are key to what's going on. And it's terrible. Yeah, I'm going to ban it now.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's banned. The word just.
Yeah. So, how do you see the future? Do you think this will take you through until retirement age? Because I'm intending now, doing what I'm doing, I'm probably not going to retire at retirement age. I just keep going, maybe wind down a little bit.
Exactly the same. I'm not looking forward to saying, right, okay, when I'm 60, I'm going to retire, or when I'm 65, I'm going to retire. I don't have those plans anymore. I just want to drive my business forward and keep helping people, yes, I may slow down and go on long weekends away. You know, take the advantage to go on a Friday and come back Monday, and slow down maybe new clients that I take on, but look after the clients that I've got, because I'm here for the long term for them now. They don't belong to me, but they're my clients. So I want to look after them. I want to see them go into their retirement, you know. So I don't see me ever looking after my clients.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah. What advice would you pass on, if you had one nugget of advice to pass on to anybody who is thinking that they need to leave teaching, they want a route out?
Right. Just be brave. I think I didn't realise how brave I'd been until, again, I've spoken to other teachers and they just said, you were incredibly brave. I didn't see it as being brave. I just didn't. So if you are a person who's nervous about doing it, then you will regret not. You will regret not doing it and not just giving it a go. You know, I mean, one of the things my mum actually said was, well, it's all right, because if it doesn't work, you can go back to teaching, can't you? Well, that just made me more determined.
Parents are great at the motivational speeches, aren't they? God, yeah.
I know. I suppose you could say that, couldn't you? You could say you have got it to fall back on. You can do supply while you're trying to retrain. You can start a business, because you can pick and choose when you're doing supply. So you can still use it to support that change. So you could use supply work as a transition, because I'm pretty sure they're crying out for them right now.
Well, I do keep seeing on LinkedIn adverts for the national supply effort. That's it. Because of course everywhere got rid of supply teachers because they had cover supervisors, didn't they? But obviously staff absence in schools with COVID has been as high as it has in any other sector of the private industry.
And I still get emails asking me from the supply agencies to go in, even though I've asked them to take me off their register numerous occasions. They're still insisting. They're probably hoping that I fail and I'll go back. But I'm not going to fail at what I'm doing. Loving it too much. Yeah, it's brilliant.
And on that note, Catherine, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your journey with us, your route out. And see you at the next network meeting.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Melanie.
Bye.